Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let's talk about, because we talking about neighborhoods and all that. Let's talk about Philly, because, you know, it's a lot going on with Ukraine, but we have our own little war in the city. Kensington has become a national story everywhere. It's basically turned into a zombie land. Drug addicts down there, a bunch of drug selling going on, a bunch of violence. Nothing is really being done to clean it up. I mean, you got kids walking through needles and all type of stuff. What needs to happen? How do we fix Kensington? Keep it a C note.
It's on you, John.
Because I mean, I don't want to take it to a conspiracy.
Go ahead.
Take it there.
No, take it there, brother X.
Brother X. Let me cut you off. Don't keep saying what you don't want to do. Do that
because
shit.
To me, it's all about money. It's all about money. Anytime I see a drug bust down there, all I see is a snitch that kept himself on the radar and kept himself on the payroll with Philadelphia police. Like, I think that this is something that the feds or the CIA could have got into, but they don't. They know it's a free drug land, and they know that there's drug dealers out there, and they know that these officers really ain't stepping out to do nothing.
But the officers, to me, is only like you answer to somebody, so you can't. You a street level. You can't just go hit corners without being told.
We have like war on drugs, like stopping for sweeps and all that. But for some reason, we won't bring in the National Guard for this or try to clean up the streets. They could.
Nah, not
so you
not
say,
just for that.
Hold on, you saying they for Kensington is that bad that they should bring the National Guards in?
The sweep, because police cannot handle it. Not unless everybody keeps screaming this to defund the police. But if you defund the police, I mean, they don't have folks out there to try moving along. But at the same time, I don't believe that shit because I don't know if police are actually out there doing their job, collecting the check. But I do think if you want that shit cleaned up, you got to get the National Guard out there to clean them up because it's not going nowhere.
Nah, I don't think that
lawmakers, they're not doing nothing to get that shit cleaned up. And I mean, you know how many complaints they're getting from residents down there, and nothing is changing. Like, their politicians are still staying in office around there.
Right.
Like, all this is about somebody's pockets are getting wet. A lot of people.
What you feel about it? Keep it a C note, Vito.
I don't feel like they need the National Guard. I feel like he said what he said about the politicians. If whoever's in office, all they gotta do is say, "Yo, go clean that shit up," and that shit'll get done.
But how many? Imagine the manpower that you would need to clean that up.
It's not going to be easy to.
It's not, but it's going to take some time. But you talking about how much manpower? Think about it. We all say the cops don't really do shit as it is, so you can take cops from other spots that ain't. Because let's act like it ain't neighborhoods that don't really have as much crime as down there, like Roxborough and shit like that. You can pull officers from Chester, all over the place to get it done.
You could, but like when they had those stupid ass, I don't agree with them marches and looting and all that. Last time when they had the George Floyd thing, they did bring out the National Guard out in certain areas. Okay. And if they could do it for that, why can't they do it for something like that? For something like as a strip, like
I feel like the National Guard was there.
I'm like, and have a whole like I open up a warehouse and have a medical building because a lot of them gonna need medical attention. So seriously, because I mean, they're gonna need somewhere to go.
Time out. Shout out to me, right? Because I be telling y'all stuff y'all don't listen, right? Kensington is the perfect example, and what y'all saying with the National Guard, Kensington is the perfect example of when I tell you, especially you, Brother X, it ain't black or white. It's about money. Everything is about, and this is why I tell you that, right? It's just as many white people, maybe more, that's toe up down Kensington. And why don't they get help? Because they not just that though. What I'm saying is, why do the upper class white folks don't care about them? Because they poor white folks. You see what I'm saying? They look at them totally different. This thing is not about skin color, even though my brother X is always going to keep it like that. But to me, this is about rich and poor.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep that neighborhood down. They don't care about the whites that's affected in it. That's even with the National Guards. When you're talking about the National, they brought them in to protect them stores and all that. Like the National Guards wasn't everywhere they was looting. They wasn't in the hood. They wasn't on Germantown and Lehigh when they was looting. They was places like downtown. Where is money at? That's all.
And only specific spots downtown, because downtown was still getting a hit.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. To me, it's always been about Richard Paul. Kensington is a total mess. You got everybody, and I see what y'all saying about hitting, but I read an article where they said, because they just did a recent indictment or a big case down there, and they said that they're saying that every time they hit a major spot in Kensington, no, they're saying that that's not happening no more. They're claiming that once they run people off this corner, then it's not, nobody is replacing them, that they getting the message. That's what they're saying. But my thing is, if that's the case, you would do it at a more rapid pace, right?
And then it wouldn't be no more. That shit, if you hit A Street, B Street gonna start popping.
Right.
And then when you hit B Street, A Street gonna open back up. So ain't no
all I'm gonna say is that black folks, we don't own no boats to get all that shit over here.
None of us do.
And another thing,
but Puerto Ricans don't own no boats.
I understand your point, and I do believe that there's a poor and rich class separation why they're not caring about those folks. But I honestly believe if it was just black folks, you wouldn't even hear about it. Yes, it's not about black and white down there, but you know about it because the white folks are down there. Now, if it wasn't no white folks down there, only Philadelphians would know about it. People outside, and I mean, unless you're a junkie, would know about it.
You know about it because it's a whole epidemic down there within this city.
Because it got around.
No. It's been like that for years down there. Kensington has been like that for years. Like a lot of people. It's getting worse now because everybody migrating from down there.
NBC,
but what I'm saying, time out. Originally, Kensington was more white people.
It was
down there. So what I'm saying, when I mean it's been like that for years, is because it's national attention now because it's at an all-time high. Like they got certain blocks where it's just nothing but
right now you get everything.
Homeless people living out there.
You got Spanish folks out down there, white folks.
You got everybody,
everything.
And you know why? Because they pushed everybody out of these neighborhoods. Temple taking up everything. This school taking up everything.
And one way you on North, another way you Badlands.
Exactly. That was my next point. I'm glad you said that because before Kensington was on a national level, like I said, it's always been bad down Kensington. But you had the Badlands. The Badlands was just as worse. Now you got everybody from over the Badlands migrating. Kensington got South Philly people down there, West Philly. Everybody is down Kensington. So now that's why it's become more of a bigger problem. You got like y'all said, the neighbors complaining about kids constantly going to school, needles here, needles there. So it's bad. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the fix is, but I will ask y'all both a question, right? We talked about The Wire a couple weeks ago, and we did the 20th anniversary, 20-year anniversary, right? Mm-hmm. On The Wire, one season they had designated drug areas. They called it Amsterdam. And the statistics on it, now it's just a TV show, said that the crime went, violent crime and all that. Do you think if cities implemented drug zones, like legal drug zones, where they policed it, do you think it would decrease the violence and the tension in the city? Like, keep it a C note.
It's possible. I think it's possible. But at the same time, if, say, they have a designated drug zone, and you know how drugs is, whoever got the best shit gonna make the most money.
Right.
So if you in this one zone, and everybody see that this nigga's getting all the money, that might make the violence pop off too. So I don't think there's no way to stop the violence, but it's possible that the violence can decrease a little bit.
Okay, what's your thoughts, John?
I think there is still going to be some violence, especially when
we know it's always going to be, but would it decrease violence?
With competition within that area, though.
That's my thing, yeah.
I think it's definitely going to be competition, beef around there, because if you have a designated area, only but so many people can hustle and be down there. I mean, I don't know. I would have to.
This is my thing, right? this is my thing, because they kind of already exist, right?
They do, because the Kensington is that
The
area.
Kensington is that area.
I'm talking about legally. Let's just look at it like this, right? You got dispensaries, weed dispensaries. You got one right here. You got one 7-8 blocks down, right? So what I'm saying is, I hear all y'all what y'all saying about competition, but if it's legalized, like if this area we could come and hustle, and I'm working for John, and I see Vito strip is booming. This is a free market. Now I'm going to jump. Like what I'm saying is, I don't think we would have is because I think more people.
Let me say this:
like
if it's how they had it on the wire, it'd still be surviving. How you're saying this is more corporate. They're cutting out the street guys. If they have like coke and crack and heroin, how they have dispensaries, then yeah, that'd increase all that shit. But if it's still the same way, like street level, it still be surviving.
Yeah, I think violence gonna go up though. I had to think
I
about
don't think it would go up
because like who's gonna eat?
I don't think violence would go up because
decrease, but not
at the end of the day, like a lot of these, like I tell people, right? When these kids go to jail, you know how you see the memes, think about home cooked meals, think about hitting a chick and all that. What alleviates a lot of nonsense, and I see it all the time. I grew up around these type guys. People that's getting money on a certain level, like when you getting a steady income, a good money, you don't want no trouble really. You will take trouble, but you don't really want no trouble. So what I'm saying is, I don't think if you got the typical one guy, couple guys here and there that's naturally going to hate, John and Brown and jump shift and went to Vito. Like, you got that's probably going to happen. But what I'm saying is, if more kids was getting money selling drugs, I don't think they would be, nobody wants to risk that. No, because what I'm saying is, Vito, you go on a lot of trips, you do a lot of, what I'm saying is the average kid, when they get that feeling, like I said, if something comes to me, that don't mean I'm not going to handle it. But dudes that's getting a certain amount of money, they don't really want no trouble.
Well, just let me make this statement about drugs in general. I feel like, going back to the conversation me and John was saying, I feel like nobody should really go to jail for drugs, period. Because at the end of the day, I'm not forcing you to buy this drug. You're volunteering to come to me and buy this drug, for one.
Right.
And for two, the only reason why I feel like it's illegal is if the government can't control it
money.
and making no money off it.
Right.
Like, you see weed, they're trying to legalize now because they can control it now.
Right.
Can't control that.
That's why I said if we had these drug zones, because you know they would. What I'm saying is, the same way y'all, time out. What I'm saying is, you know how the same way you saying we should do this for Kensington, we should do that, it ain't enough people, we should call in the National Guards. I guarantee you, if you put these drug zones in the city and they're getting their cut off of it, they're going to make sure there's no violence in a 10-block radius. Yeah. That zone will be protected like the president is there. I guarantee you, when it's their money, they're not going to play like that, bro. They're going to have the top-notch cops, police officers around them I'm telling you. Okay. You know it, John.
No, but see, here's my thing. The only good thing I see out of that is that we wouldn't see brothers getting locked up for that shit. But I don't know, man. Like, I wouldn't want to see that shit in nobody's city. I mean, I don't.
I'd rather see that than anything, because at the end of the day, drugs ain't going nowhere.
They're not.
If it ain't one thing, if one thing got style, something else is coming in.
Right.
So.
What's your thoughts, people? If you're from Philly, if you seen Kensington, a section of Philadelphia in the national media, what do you think needs to happen to clean it up? If we did drug-free zones in cities, do you think it would bring the violence down, keep it a C note with us? All right, let's talk movies. Let's go. Since we all on the street tip, we're not gonna go street, but let's go top 5 mob movies / gangster movies. Let me set it off, because my joint might be a little bit debatable, right? And I know y'all might get mad at me. 5, I got Casino. 4, I got Frank White, King of New York. 3, I got The Godfather. 2.
The whole.
I got
series?
1.
Oh, just,
1.
okay.
Part 1. I think that's the best one. At 2, underrated movie. I don't think it gets enough credit. Shout out Al Pacino. I got Carlito's Way.
Yes, that's my shit.
And number 1, back to back, like Drake, or back to back, like Golden State when they won a chip. I got Scarface, Tony Montana, Al Pacino again. Shout out to Al Pacino.
Shout out to Brown with a good list for once in his life.
Hey, I'm trying, man. I'm
John,
trying.
No,
Who you got,
it.
John?
No, you got it, Vito. I'll let you go
Who you
first.
got, Vito? Vito throwing shots like Cooper Kupp ain't the top dog and all that. Like, come on, man.
He a player, but he ain't no player.
Okay.
All right, my number 5. A lot of motherfuckers might know about this, John. Miller's Crossing. Classic. Y'all gotta check that out.
Okay.
My number 4, The Godfather. If Godfather is lower,
Which one you talking?
I'm just talking about in
all
general,
of them. Okay.
because it's a little lower because it's more drawn out,
Right.
and it's a lot of spots in it that is just don't really have nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
But it's still a good movie, especially number 1.
Okay.
Number 3, Scarface.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with Tony Montana.
Tony.
Any nigga that go against the plug, gotta fuck him.
Yeah.
Well, number 2, a lot of niggas don't know about this Joan, but a lot of niggas do. Hoodlum.
Okay.
Larry
Yeah, that's a
Fitzgerald.
good one. Shout out
Classic
Vito. You
shit.
focus, Vito.
And the number 1, it gotta be Goodfellas, man.
You got Goodfellas?
Gotta be Goodfellas.
See, that's why I said my list was debatable, because I thought I was going to get ground up for not having Goodfellas.
Because you actually had a couple on there that I forgot about, like King of New York,
Right.
And Carlito's Way. And Carlito's Way is my shit. I forgot about
But
all of them.
this is why, because I didn't get to mention, that's why I said it might have been like up in the air, because my honorable mention wasn't even Goodfellas. It was A Bronx Tale.
Sonny, yo, that's my shit.
So I'm like, once I didn't say, I'm like, when I don't put
See,
Goodfellas
one thing about
there,
these lists, you can't go wrong because
I just thought everybody was going to grind me up about the Goodfellas stuff.
I ain't
Man.
mad at your list. Good list.
Who you got, John? Keep it a C note.
First off, I do like Scarface, but I'm biased against that movie.
Why, brother? X?
Why?
Cubans don't fuck with us, and we fuck with them so fucking hard, bro.
He is
They
black,
they got
yo.
special names for us, and we all never mind. But at
You
nu-
can't give all
at-
Cubans
at-
a
at
case.
number 5, I got Godfather 2. Number 4, Godfather 3. Number 3.
Oh, you
Yeah.
put all of them
Yeah,
in.
and number 3, Godfather 1. And number 2, American Gangster. And number 1, Hoodlum.
Okay, Hoodlum. And y'all both had Hoodlum. You said American Gangster. Okay. What's your thoughts, people? Top 5 mob/gangster movies. Let us know who you got. Keep it a C note with us.
Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da.